everyone.
Hello. Welcome to Engaged and Divorced,
where I wear the rings.
And I'm trying to figure out these damn things.
If you missed last week, it has changed.
Yep, Kiley is married. So last week we talked all about her wedding day and her honeymoon.
Mm-hmm.
And also the first date where I threw up. So
yeah, it was definitely a fun episode.
Yeah.
And I actually just took you guys along with me on my honeymoon last week. So that just happened. Disney was awesome. I didn't get any crazy sunburns or anything, so that's always a plus.
Always.
It was great.
Yeah. If you are not following us yet on Instagram, our name on Instagram is Engaged and Divorced, and I saved all of her honeymoon fun in the honeymoon highlights on our page, so you can watch that. I just need to say, I need to stop saying like so much. As I've been editing the episodes, it's driving me nuts, but especially the last episode, I swear I said like so much. So I'm going to work really hard moving forward to not say it as much because I'm annoying myself. So that's just a side note. In addition to that, thank you guys for the positive podcast reviews. We have about 8 or 9, but I haven't been able to figure out how to like read them yet.
Oh, they just say it's reviewed?
We have 5 stars, 8 reviews, but for some reason I cannot actually read them. When I figure it out, I'll read them on air. But thank you guys for those. If you're enjoying this podcast so far, it's one of your favorite Friday routines. Leave us a review to let us know. We would greatly appreciate that. Also, if you didn't know, we have a YouTube channel, so you can watch us instead of listening, if you prefer that. Today's episode is fun. It's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit different. Taking you outside of us as being married and divorced, and now we're just talking about our fun trip we went on last November.
Which has been highly requested.
Yeah, so. And it was almost a year ago at this point.
I know, we're like trying to remember everything. We're like, oh, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can remember all the details.
I have notes in my phone for some of the expenses because we want to be completely transparent with you and let you know not only everything that we did in New York City when we went together, but how much we paid for everything. So
I'm still financially recovering.
Same. I was telling Mom that I wish I could go to New York City again.
Oh, I know. I love November.
It. But
it's so expensive. But
it's pretty expensive.
It's probably one of the biggest places where the second I got home, I was like, I want to go back. Like there's some places where I'm like, I'm glad to be home. But like that was one that I was like, oh, I just want to go back.
I know. As soon as you come home. Well, I was pretty exhausted. Not gonna lie. We did a lot of walking.
Yeah.
But so you have the day by day itinerary of what we did?
Yes, because I like to Snapchat a lot. So I saved like literally everywhere we went. I like took a picture and saved it. So
sounds good.
I don't have like every place we ate at, that kind of detail, but
yeah,
we have the big events, the big things we did. So
yeah. So what jump-started this whole trip to begin with was my kids were in Tennessee visiting their aunt and cousins for Thanksgiving, and it was my first holiday without my kids, and I knew I was going to be a wreck. So I asked Kiley if she would go on a trip with me, and we had about 5 cities written down.
Yeah,
but we kept coming back to New York City.
I remember one of them was like, we wanted to go to Mexico, but then we were like, you won't get a passport in time. We had a few different places like that where it was like warm climate, like go hang out on the beach. And then we had New York City on the list as well.
I am not really a beach person. I'm more of a explore this city kind of person. So it worked out. And she had never been before. I've been to New York City two other times, I think. But for somebody who loves musical theater as much as Kiley does, we needed to go to some Broadway shows.
Yeah.
That was the main motivation.
Yeah. So we decided to go to New York City.
Yes. And it was a trip to remember. It was so much fun.
And by the way, yes, this was during Thanksgiving, and I did not care because I hate Thanksgiving. Just thought you should know.
We don't like Thanksgiving.
Not because of like being around family, not that kind of thing. I just don't like the idea of Thanksgiving. So I was like, I don't care if we skip it.
Yeah. We're like, we don't really support Thanksgiving anyway, but we still went to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
We'll get there.
That was an experience.
We have some fun stories from this trip.
We do indeed. So let's start on day one.
Flying there.
Our flights costed us $899.94. So our flights were probably the most expensive part of the trip.
That was
together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was for both of us. So it was about what, $450?
Yeah, around there.
That's a lot of money for a flight.
Yeah.
I can't even believe I spent that.
Yeah.
I don't usually spend that much money on
That's like how much flights are right now.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But, we were itching to get out. It was like right after the pandemic and we were ready to explore.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, you couldn't even get into New York City without a vaccination card.
Oh, yes.
So that was another
They
thing. Checked
it everywhere we went.
Yes. And that was really sad because so many people came to the city that were not vaccinated. They didn't know, or they couldn't speak English, and they couldn't understand, but they were getting turned away at every single place because even Applebee's would look at your vaccination card. So it was something that we had to have on us at all times to show everybody. Yeah. And I don't think they're strict on that anymore.
No, I don't even know where mine is, but I don't think anyone really checks them anymore.
No, yeah, I don't think anybody does, but we had to have the masks, the vaccination cards everywhere. Mm-hmm. So yeah, $900 on flights. And then we got there pretty late that day.
Yes.
We had an Uber driver. I think that Uber ride costed us like $50, maybe $60. It took us from the airport to our hotel.
Yeah, it was like 30 minutes, right?
I feel like it was longer than that. I don't know. I can't remember. All I remember is the drivers there. New York drivers are a whole other level. And I'm kind of sort of used to it because my ex's family's from New York. So driving with them was always a roller coaster ride, literally. But Uber drivers in New York City, because Uber drivers always go fast. That was just a whole other thing.
You think I'm a crazy driver. So, then you got there and you were like, whoa.
That was literally a Disney ride.
The whole ride there, I was just like, oh, look at that. Oh, that's cool.
And I was like...
she was like hyperventilating.
I hate fast cars.
Oh, yes. So we finally get dropped off at our hotel. Do you remember that situation?
Yes, yep. I found the hotel in Groupon.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's in Times Square, by the way. Literally, in the middle of Times Square, or not Times. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's about 2 blocks away from Times Square.
It's pretty close by.
Super close. And that's originally we were looking at Airbnbs, and some were across the water and the different, what are they called? Suburbs, Brooklyn.
Yeah, we were looking at Jersey for a while.
Yeah, there was even a few in New Jersey we were looking at.
Yeah,
but ultimately we were like, we're gonna be walking a lot. And most of the things that we want to do is in the Times Square area.
Yeah.
So let's get something that is close to Times Square. So we stayed at the 4 Points by Sheraton Midtown Times Square. I don't know if this Groupon is still going on, but I did find this for a Groupon. And I thought it was a really, really good deal because we stayed for 5 nights. And our total price was $696.13.
That's really good, especially for being in the city area.
I know. We were close to everything.
Yeah.
So 5 nights that close to everything. I thought that was a super, super good deal. I always check Groupon first when I'm looking for a hotel because I can usually find something much cheaper than I could anywhere else. Because I remember looking on the website and it was way more if you bought it from the website as opposed to Groupon. So that really helped us save a lot of money.
Yeah.
But yeah, tell that story. We got there. It was really late at night.
I don't even remember what happened, but they couldn't pull up our reservation. We didn't exist or something.
Yeah.
And so she had the booking from Groupon and was showing them that. And they were like, we just weren't in the system for some reason.
He said, we're full tonight.
Yeah. So they were just fully, it felt like getting rejected from the inn. So we had
Mary and Joseph.
Yeah. And so he was like, but we'll let you stay at our nearby establishment. It was right next to it. There was another hotel. So we had to stay there the first night.
And that hotel was not so great. And it was super small. It was tiny. It was a tiny little thing.
Kitchen. That's all I remember.
Yeah. So we only stayed there for one night, and then they gave us free breakfast. Was it for 2 days or 1 day?
I think it was 1 day.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
But that breakfast, I mean, that was like $20 a person. So we saved money that way.
Yeah.
By them comping our breakfast. So the next morning we woke up, we had breakfast. Mm-hmm. And is that the day we went and saw the 9/11?
9/11, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
What an experience.
Yeah. So we took our first, what's it called? Subway ride that day. Mm-hmm. Well, my first one. Mm-hmm. I was very confused what to do.
Your first, it wasn't my first, but I was still very confused.
We like walked in, we were like, what do we do? And everyone's just like going through. So we like had to ask someone like how to get a ticket. It was really funny. We're just like, hi, how do we get on the subway? We're like, oh geez.
Yeah.
So,
but we got there.
Oh yeah.
That museum was heart-wrenching.
Yes, it was. I've always wanted to go there. Like, that's one of the biggest things I wanted to see in New York. And we actually got that with the discount of the tour of the city, right? Or was
yes. So there's something called City Pass. It's literally like citypass.com or something. But it's through the city of New York City. You can choose 5 different places that you want to go to. And it's $130.
It's a really good deal.
I feel like it might have been a little bit cheaper. I don't remember how much we ended up paying, but it is it's a great deal because you can choose 5 attractions from the following: Empire State Building, American Museum of Natural History, Top of the Rock Observation Deck, or the Guggenheim Museum, ferry access to Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island, or the Circle Line sightseeing cruises, the 9/11 Memorial and Museum, or the Sea, Air, and Space Museum.
Yeah.
So the 5 ones that we chose were the 9/11 Memorial, which we went to that day, the Circle Line sightseeing cruise, the Top of the Rock Observation Deck, and then we were going to do Empire State Building, but that's a whole other story.
Oh my, just wait till we get to like day 3 or day 2. I don't know. I think it was day 3.
Well, I felt like the Met was in here though, as one of them when we went.
I don't think so. I think that's just something we went to.
It totally was, because I remember
you named all 5, didn't you?
That museum, and then the other museum, the other museum we went to. What's it called? I can't think of what it's called. The famous one.
History.
Yeah,
that's on there, right?
Oh yeah, that one's still on there. That's weird.
They check out the Met. No, I feel like we just went to the Met.
No, because I remember I had to reserve it.
Oh yes, because we were trying to figure out how to find it.
That's probably why they took it off, because everybody was so confused. Everyone who bought one of these city passes was trying to get into the Met, and they didn't know what they were doing. They didn't know how to check it. We had to stand in a line for forever. So they did take that one off.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Okay.
That makes sense. We figured it out.
All right. Anyways.
So 9/11.
9/11 Museum.
Yeah.
You're basically walking through this museum, and for a big portion of it, you can't have your cell phone on at all. You're not allowed to take pictures or videos, or you'll get kicked out. So it makes the experience a lot more intentional, because you're walking through it and you're not distracted at all. Like, you're literally just so focused on everything that you're seeing, and there's so much to see.
Yeah.
And it's so emotional. I think everyone was just walking through, and it was about 2 hours of nobody saying a word.
Yeah.
It was just
you just read everything.
Quiet, stillness. Everybody just felt. It's just one of those events in the world that everybody felt, even from other countries. You know, because we're walking through this with people from all over the world, and it affected everybody in a different way.
Yeah.
So that was cool to see so many people coming together to honor those people's lives, and the city of New York City too. You know, just.
And they had that walkthrough portion where they had like things from the actual building that they still had in like a glass area. They had like even a store do you remember seeing that store that had like ash all over it?
Yeah.
They kept that and just like put it in its own little area. So we got to see all of those things. They had a whole section about like the terrorists and all of that. And then like as you go, it's like time is going forward and you're seeing like all the events happen. It was wild.
Yeah. They had all the TVs with the newscasts of that day of like Good Morning America. They were just doing a normal segment, and then all of a sudden they were hit with the news, and they had to like report on it right then and there. And everyone was just confused. But they built the museum on the land where the Twin Towers came down. So that's where the Twin Towers stood. So when you're walking through the museum, you actually see like the base of where those towers stood. You can see the land because you're underground when you first start. You can see where they were standing.
Yeah.
And they still have the escalators there and the stairs there where people were escaping. So they built it around what was already there, which makes it feel even more surreal.
I'm glad they did that though, and like kind of kept that part of it and didn't just like get rid of all of it, because it does make it feel like, so much more real, and like, oh, I can't believe like we're looking at the actual building right now. Like, it's just wild.
Yeah. And then I posted a video on my Instagram, and so many people were they were just messaging me like, I had no idea that had happened. Yeah, there's a wall more toward the end of it, I feel like. And that's where there's still human remains to this day. So every human remains that they found, they put them behind this wall. And there's actually people back there trying to figure out who these remains belong to. They're still matching people to this day. And there's still so many people that are unaccounted for that they've never been able to find. But they work day in and day out behind the wall to call these family members and let them know that they found their loved ones.
Yeah. Because there's still a lot of missing people, that could have been there, and nobody has any idea. So
that's wild to me, just after all of these years, that's still going on.
Yeah.
But the amount of damage and destruction that it caused. Yeah. Crazy.
So if you ever find yourself in New York City, definitely go there. 10 out of 10. It's very important to see that part of history, and it's just a good place. Like you said, everybody felt that day. So it's a good way to remember it and to kind of just let yourself feel it.
After we got out, we were both pretty sad.
I know. I was like,
you're like, why did we start our New York City trip?
I was like, well, time to go see Hadestown.
Oh yeah, we immediately went to a musical after that.
We took pictures first, and then we were like trying to get the subway, and then the subway was just so hard to figure out, and so I thought we were gonna be late because like the tracker thing said it would take like an hour back to Times Square or something, and I was like, we're gonna miss the beginning of Hadestown, which is like one of my favorite musicals, so I was like panicking, but we ended up getting there on time.
Yeah. So Hadestown was our first musical.
Oh my God.
Kiley's first Broadway show.
When we walked in, I started hyperventilating. I had to go to the bathroom, and I was just standing there like putting water on my face.
Really?
I was about to pass out. Like I was like fangirling. And then I heard someone in the stall say, "So do you know anything about this show?" And then the other woman was like, "No, I don't actually know what it's about." And I was like, I can't believe that these types of people get to go to these shows daily. And it took me years to get to this show, like,
hey, I'm gonna be honest, out of the 3 shows we went to, I didn't know what 2 of them were about, but I kind of like it that way because I go in surprised. Well, so I didn't know what Hadestown was about either. You told me a little bit, but I didn't want to listen to the music or know anything ahead of time.
And I just, that music hits different. And okay, so this is the other reason I was hyperventilating. We grabbed the playbill. I opened the playbill. I should have waited because the original cast was there because Broadway had just opened back up a couple months before.
No, it was wasn't it like a week before?
Yep, it opened up and then it closed and then it opened like a couple weeks before we got there again. So they were trying to get all of the original cast to come back. So like the original cast of Hamilton, a lot of them were there for a couple weeks. In Hadestown, like Andre Day Shields, just this legendary 70-year-old man who just can still dance.
He's so good.
And like Eva was so good, and like the whole cast, I was like, I wasn't expecting it because like it's cool to see the show, but when it's the original cast that like you've watched, you've listened to for months, and then you get to see them up there, and you're like, oh, it was just I was melting.
It was a great show.
Yes, it's coming to Denver, and I kind of want to go with Jamie.
Ooh,
the tickets are really expensive.
Super fun. Okay, what did we do after that?
Okay.
After we went to Hadestown. Okay, so Hadestown, how much? The shows were another thing that I didn't document.
75 to 100. Like it wasn't, I feel like with that one, it wasn't as bad as, I think Jagged Little Pill was more money. I'm pretty sure.
And I actually think Chicago was the cheapest.
Yeah, and we had like the front row.
Yeah.
Which was that same day, but I think we did something.
I think we spent about $300 each.
Yeah.
Total. On 3 shows, which once again isn't bad because if you were to see those shows here on tour,
Yeah.
it would be the same price.
The Hadestown that's coming to Denver, like in the far, far, far back is like $130.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's cheaper there.
Yeah, it's cheaper there. And they're constantly putting out.
Oh, okay. So after, I'm looking at my phone just to see kind of what we did. After Hadestown, we went to Times Square, like the actual square.
Oh, yeah.
And we saw like this gorilla walking around, and we saw like all those like fake Disney characters coming up to kids trying to take pictures, and then their parents
and then charge them like $100.
Come on, Sally, let's go. Like, oh, it was funny, but
we were super hungry.
Oh, oh no.
But there was a wait everywhere, so we went to McDonald's.
Yeah, we did.
And it was still like for a cheeseburger and fries and a drink, it was like $15 or something.
And it wasn't good. Like, I cannot eat in like, this makes my privilege come out, but like I cannot eat in that kind of environment where like you smell like the streets boiling, and then like you're sitting on a bench that's full of 1,000 germs, and like you're trying to just eat a chicken sandwich while like everyone around you, like there's like people that are half naked, like trying to take
girl
pictures
doing
of
a
people.
TikTok next to us.
Yeah, there's people doing TikToks. There's like little kids trying to run away from people that look like Elsa. Like it was really hard to just like
chaotic.
Eat. Like, I was just like, all right, I give up.
It was funny watching you with like the sewers,
oh my
like
God.
The air rising. She was like, "What the heck is that?"
I thought it was just a movie thing. Like I always just thought it was like an effect. I didn't realize that the street actually does that. It's disgusting. And if you accidentally walk over it,
it smells so bad.
You do not want to walk over it.
The whole city just smells terrible.
All that heat going into you. It's just like, oh. Yeah, and I already have a fear of germs, so that was like probably the worst part of New York. Yeah. But yeah, we ate our McDonald's.
I always thought it was amazing when people eat on the subway. That to me is like, there were tons of people eating meals on the subways, and I was like, ugh.
No, I could never.
Ugh.
No. But it makes sense because a lot of them, they're on their lunch break. They have to go somewhere fast, or like they're about to go to work. They have to eat.
Once again, it just shows us our privilege.
It does.
We live in a mountain state where like we don't have litter or germs.
Bad. I can't
our air is so fresh.
Yeah, I can't believe I complain about it, but like that was like, I loved New York. That was probably the thing that I was like, ew.
Yeah. But, so after Times Square, I think we went home, didn't we? Or not home, but to our hotel.
We went straight to Chicago.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm. We were gonna go home, but then we were like, let's just go early, and then we saw the line was already made.
This isn't the same day?
Yes. Same day.
It is?
Mm-hmm.
I thought we went to the Italian. Oh, that was a different day. Okay.
That was like day 4.
We literally did the 9/11 museum and then 2 musicals in the same day.
Yes, and I honestly
think
we should have done like 6 musicals. We should have skipped the Met and just gone.
No wonder I was so tired. I remember being really tired that whole trip.
Next time, I'm just gonna go to musicals. Yeah,
okay, so we went to Chicago that night. Really, the first night.
Mm-hmm. So we had like nosebleed seats. Is that what it's called when you're like in the when you're like, we were in the very front row.
No,
in the
nosebleed
corner.
is when you're in the back.
We're really into sports. I thought it was the front row because then if they like kick you or throw a ball at your face, your nose bleeds. Is that not?
That's interesting.
Is that not it? I don't know. I don't know.
Hey Siri, what are the nosebleed seats?
Here's what I found from Wikipedia. In American and Canadian usage, nosebleed section or nosebleed seats are common slang for seating at sporting or other spectator events that are the highest up and farthest away from the event.
Okay.
That doesn't make sense
though.
You're right. I think yours makes more sense.
Okay, we were not in the nosebleed seats. We
were in the front
row. That's so stupid.
Pretty awesome to be in the front row of a Chicago show because you can see everything. They spread their legs a lot.
You could see all the sweat. You can see like the background characters like leaving character because they're just like, I don't want to stretch anymore. This hurts.
Oh yeah, we could see everything on the side of the.
You could see everyone curtains. In pain, like from like doing the splits for so long. It was interesting. It was definitely an interesting experience. I know Chicago is one of your favorite shows.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to go there. Chicago is one of my favorite musicals. Mm-hmm. And let me just say, those women and men working that show are the hardest workers in the business.
Yeah, the
amount of like dancing that they have to do and singing on top of it and costume changes, and that show was incredible. A lot.
Yeah.
You can tell those people work extremely hard.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. They're in really good shape, and like they have it all together. And especially being in the front where we could see if they like messed up, they didn't, like they never did.
Yeah.
It was just an interesting perspective because like it didn't feel like a Broadway show to me, like because we were so close. I was just like, oh, we're watching like a high school musical. And
high school musical, that's amazing.
But then I like had to remind myself like, no, these are Broadway. I'm at Broadway. This is a Broadway show.
Yeah.
We can really see it.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting.
Yeah.
But the tickets were cheaper because we had the front row.
Well, and I also think they were cheaper because it's just a more well-known musical and it's been there for so long.
Oh, yeah.
That it's like, we've had this going for years. Whereas Jagged Little Pill, which was the third musical we went to, that was a little bit more because isn't that a newer show like in the last few years?
Yeah.
So it's kind of its debut still.
Yeah, like I think it came out in like 2019 right before the Pandy, so...
Pandy. So after Chicago, we went back to our hotel and we were just relaxing. And then we decided, what are we doing? We're in New York City right now.
Anything can happen.
Why are we laying down in bed being lazy when there's a whole city out there that never sleeps?
Which you're not supposed to go out there past a certain time. We learned our lesson.
I know, it's probably already about 11 o'clock or something when we decided to go out and get some drinks because we were like, we haven't drank anything yet or really talked or done anything. So we walked to this sports bar that was actually not that close of a walk. And it was fine going there. It was on the way back because we had left around 1:30 a.m. or something like that. It was like 1 to 2 a.m.
Yeah, I was pretty late.
And so we were walking back, and that's when we were like, oh, all right, we're walking fast.
Well, the streets were empty. Like, everyone was gone. So you knew, like, we're not supposed to be out right now. And we saw, like, cop cars everywhere, and we were like, okay, yeah, we need to walk faster.
Yeah.
So
obviously, the homeless were still out, and they were asking us questions and trying to talk to us,
like
following us,
cussing us out. Yeah.
One guy followed us. Yeah, they all just like scream at random times. Like one guy was just like, "We're in New York City, damn it!" We're like, what? Why are we screaming this? I don't know.
So we booked it pretty quick.
We had this person following us for a little bit of time, probably about 3 minutes. It felt longer. We just were walking really fast, and finally we lost him. Yeah. So, yeah, we were like, oh, mom and dad would be very disappointed.
We went down the wrong corner. Down the wrong alley, wrong street. It was just, it was not good. If you go to New York City, do not, by any means, just trust your GPS and hope that it's a good area. Because it probably isn't.
That's probably common sense.
I know. We were just too much in dreamland. We're like, oh, the city.
It never sleeps. It's magical. So that was day 2.
Gosh.
Day 3, we woke up and we went on the Circle Line sightseeing cruise to the Statue of Liberty. You see it a lot, though. You don't just see the Statue of Liberty. It's a long cruise.
You see, like, all of New York City. You see, or, like, New York area. You see New Jersey. You see the Bronx. Like, it's really cool.
This cruise on its own, I would say, is probably up, like, $100 or so. So if it's part of the city pass, so you really get your money's worth because just this alone is really expensive. And this is something that you do not want to miss. It's super, super cool. You can actually sit inside and you can see out the windows, or you can go out to the front of the boat if you want. It was so cold that day because we went in November, obviously. And so every day was pretty cold, but we had to wear our masks everywhere. So it kind of kept us warm.
Yeah.
That was the blessings of the masks.
It was freezing. And I remember I was sick. Like I was getting over a cold.
Oh,
and so,
yeah.
And to get to that boat, we had to walk, 2 miles from our hotel? Yeah. It was a long walk. Yeah. Because we had to leave an hour early or something.
It was kind of nice though.
Yeah, it was nice. It wasn't as cold at that point. It was colder when we left.
It was cold on the boat because we were going pretty fast for a lot of it. And the wind was whipping through.
Yeah.
And it was cold, but we
got to see Miss Liberty and that was cool.
Wasn't it surreal? I've never
seen her. Yeah, she's this is going to sound stupid, but she's way bigger than I thought she was.
Yeah.
Because you see pictures of her and you're like, okay, cool. But then you see her in person and it's like, woo.
Yeah. When you see pictures of her compared to the other buildings in New York City, obviously it's way smaller. But when you see it in real life, it's like, wow.
Yeah. It was really cool. And I loved going through like Bronx and all of that. Because there's so many like movies that take place there, and you see like kind of how the architecture changes. It was just really cool.
There was a tour guide like talking and explaining what each thing was, but you couldn't hear him half the time because people are talking.
Yeah.
And being really loud.
Yeah. So I remember at a few points being like, what are they saying? Like I really wanted to hear, because
I was trying to be obvious because these people behind us were just like, oh.
Yeah, they're like, oh, look at there, there's the ocean right there.
Yeah.
It was like,
they were speaking Spanish. It was really loud, and they were having a good time, which is great.
Yeah, but we
could not hear.
If I'm going on a tour, boat tour, I want to hear the facts because I'm a nerd and I like the information.
Exactly.
And then they'd be like, this movie was filmed here. And I'd be like, what movie? What movie was it? They're like, look at those staircases. This movie was filmed there. And then you don't hear the movie, and it's like, it's going to bother me forever. But okay.
And that obviously that whole ride is full of movies because everything's filmed there. So
I remember we got to see the stairs that the Joker walks up in the most recent Joker movie, which is really cool because I love that movie. That's the only thing I remember from that, but it was cool.
It was really cool. It was a long ride.
Yeah, like what, 3 hours?
Yeah,
because it got dark by the time we were off.
And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, we didn't go in the morning because when we got off the boat, it was dark.
Yeah.
We got to see the whole sunset, which was cool. And when we were off, it was already dark at that point. So.
Yeah, I think we kind of slept in that day.
Yeah.
A little bit. We got
probably because we stayed up so late. Yeah, because I'm showing on my phone, we got on the boat at around 2:30 p.m.
Yeah.
So I think that morning we had just had a slow morning, maybe got some breakfast or something. I don't know. Obviously, it wasn't very important.
I remember getting coffee from some interesting place.
And did we get bagels that day? I was like, we got to have New York City bagels.
I think we ate at that one really big restaurant thing that was next to us.
Oh, yeah.
I do not remember what it was called.
Yeah, I don't remember either. It's like a chain restaurant there. So we got off the Circle Line sightseeing cruise and we went to
Rockefeller.
We went back to the hotel to get ready.
Did that first, yeah.
And we decided we wanted a fancy meal.
Yeah, why not? You're in New York City.
At this point, all we had was McDonald's. Actually, I don't think we ate very much so far.
Yeah.
We had the comped breakfast. We had McDonald's.
Yeah.
And then we had whatever we went to that morning for breakfast. That was pretty much about it. Oh, and the other restaurant. Anyways, we were like, let's have a fancy dinner. We'll dress up fancy and we'll go to an Italian restaurant because it's New York City. So we went to this Italian restaurant. I don't remember what it was called. Do you?
It was like The Hole or something.
It was not
something weird like that.
It doesn't tell me what it was.
I remember taking a picture there, but I guess not.
When I was wearing this sequin 2-piece. And it was like right around Christmas time. So we got to see the light show on Rockefeller Center.
Yeah.
Which was cool. It was going off.
The tree was not up yet. They weren't going to put the tree up until, I think, December 1st.
Which we didn't know. And so, obviously, it was cool going there for its own reasons because of the parade that was happening. But if you want to be there for a lot of the Christmas stuff, you should probably go like the beginning of December. Because the other time I've been in New York City, it was right around Christmas time. And that was super cool because I got to see the tree and the ice rink and stuff. But
the ice rink looks really small. I was confused. I was like, what?
I know.
It was like this extravagant thing.
Really does. Yeah. But I think going in November, you probably avoid as many crowds. I mean, it was still busy, but there probably is even crazier at Christmas time. So, but yeah, we got to see a lot of the Christmas stuff, and they were still building stuff and making different light shows and things. So we got to see that. And then we went to Top of the Rock at Rockefeller Center.
Oh, it was so cool seeing the Rockefeller Center and the elevator ride. Oh,
yeah. You look up and it's like a movie
light
show.
Yeah, it's just like, dude. And there's like disco music and you're like, oh, it's like electronic music. And then we get up there and then it's just beautiful. Windows everywhere. You can overlook the whole city.
You can see everything all around.
Yeah. Oh, it was awesome.
If you're watching this on YouTube, I will include pictures and videos as we're speaking, so you can see.
Yes. I know. I don't think we ever mentioned that you can see the Empire State Building from our hotel, like from our window.
Oh, yeah. No, we
You
didn't
looked outside and you could see the Empire State Building, so it was kind of like we saw it.
Yeah, we saw it every day. We just didn't get to go to it.
Yeah.
But I was telling Kylie, because I've done the Empire State Building before, it's a lot like the Top of the Rock. They're almost the same. It's just a little bit of a different view if you go during the day. Because New York City up high during the day is a different experience than night. And we went to Top of the Rock at nighttime because you get to see all the city lights and stuff. But they're pretty much almost the same thing. And I think Top of the Rock is actually taller, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
So, I don't know.
I'm more interested in that kind of thing than Empire State Building. Like, I'm sure it's cool too, but yeah, we got to see the views. That's the whole point. So,
well, we took photo shoots in front of the balls.
Oh yes, and then I saw Jimmy
ornaments,
Fallon's
and
studio.
then she saw the Jimmy Fallon studio, and then when we got back to our hotel, it was still going on and it was live.
Yeah.
So we were like, we were right in front of where the studio was, and now we're watching it on TV.
I have a huge crush on him. Jimmy Fallon is hot.
Yes.
All right. So I think that's all that happened that night. We just we were like, we won't go
vegged
out
out
there. We're not going to go out in the world.
So the next morning we woke up to go to the Empire State Building. It was later on in the day. Never mind. We had to go to the Met first.
Yeah. We went to the Met.
We were going to the Met first, and then we had to be at the Empire State Building at a certain time. However, we went on the subway and we got lost. I have a picture right here showing we were an hour and 14 minutes away from where we originally were. Somehow we got on the subway and we went the opposite direction. Yeah. And when we got out, where were we?
I think we were in Queens or something.
Yeah, I think it was Queens. We should have got off and had some pizza there.
Because we were like, man, this is a really long ride. We were going the opposite direction. So
we really didn't know what we were doing at all.
Oh.
So by the time we got to the Met, we were already super late for our reservation, but they didn't care.
Well, when we got to Queens, we were like, how do we get back? And they were like, do not take this one. Take this one. And then
we were on the wrong one the whole time.
Yeah. And then they like basically gave us wrong directions again. So then we met this person on the subway.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, don't listen to anyone you meet here. The whole time we're imagining it to be like this like Hallmark film. So it was perfect. It was like the one on the subway that gives you advice.
You got to find the locals because they're the only ones that won't bullshit.
She's like, don't even listen to people anymore.
She said sometimes people will tell you the wrong directions just to purposefully get you lost.
Yeah.
Like, who does that? Who has that kind of time on their hands?
We made it to the Met, though.
We finally made it to the Met. This day was freezing. Oh, my goodness. It was so windy. So we got inside. What did you think about the Met?
I liked it. I think if I remember right, we were like out of it.
Yeah. We were really, I don't know why. Were we hungry? Thirsty?
I think it was just...
We didn't have much water?
Yeah, I think we were dehydrated. We were like feeling the elevator still from our hotel.
The subway, I think, is what it was because we were on the subway a total of like 2.5 hours.
Every time we were trying to look at art, like it felt like we were like moving. I literally felt like I was on drugs the whole time.
Me too.
But it was cool. If you're really into art, I think you will really like it.
Yeah. It was really fascinating because they have some really old art that you can't find anywhere else in the world.
And it takes days to see all of it.
Yeah.
So obviously we didn't see everything.
Yeah.
But it is cool because, they have the different floor levels, so you can kind of just see whatever you're interested in.
I think we were both not fully there. So we were like, okay, we were trying to soak it up as much as we could.
Right.
But we were pretty tired or thirsty or something. Yeah, I don't remember. But there was a food truck outside of the Met.
Oh my gosh. And it was cold. And this was one of the coldest days, I'm pretty sure.
Because there was no restaurants nearby.
Right.
In that area. And we didn't want to have to get on a subway to go to a restaurant because we were really hungry. So we were just like, let's just eat here at the food truck. I think I got a pretzel and you got a hot dog or something. Do you eat hot dogs?
I hate hot dogs. I probably got a pretzel too.
I don't know what we got, but it was so cold. I was eating my food and the wind came and all my food got all over my outfit.
Yeah, napkins were flying everywhere. It was freezing. And it was one of those colds that was like, this isn't even fun. Like, I don't even want to eat. And we tried to go back inside and like, we tried to sit on the floor and then they were like, everyone up. They like, do not let you sit on the floor.
Yeah. And then we were planning on taking the subway back to our hotel.
Yeah.
But we didn't even want to walk to the subway because just walking to the subway was a pretty long walk and we were cold.
Yeah.
So we did get an Uber driver for that.
That was the only other Uber we got besides the airport rides.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we did pretty good with that, saving money that way.
Yeah, because it was pretty far from us. So that Uber driver took us back to our room. We stayed in there. We were supposed to go to the Empire State Building, but we had already missed it at that point, and we were like, do we really want to go? Yeah,
because we were gonna Uber to the Empire State Building and then go home, walk home or something. But yeah, we were like, and it was too cold. Like we would have got onto the top and then been freezing. So it was like,
yeah. Yeah. I love the cold, but I was dressed not for the cold. I was like, I'm gonna dress all fashionable, and it was like not a good decision.
It's too cold.
I was so cold.
In cold weather, I don't want to do anything.
Yeah. And then also we had another musical that night.
Yes.
The last show was that night, so we wanted to like rest a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So we went to the Alanis Morissette show, Jagged Little Pill. Mm-hmm. They basically just take all of her popular songs and made it into a musical. Like, you ought to know, if you're like, who is that? Mm-hmm. That's probably her most popular song. Or I guess Ironic is a big one too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I like knew of this show, but then when we were looking for shows to go to, I was like, this one might be interesting because I like read the plot and I was like, I've heard some of the music, but it's pretty new. And it's like about a dysfunctional family and like that's falling apart, but they all make themselves look like they're doing good. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, Shay, I feel like we both would really like this because we like really like weird, crazy, dysfunctional stuff.
Well, you told me you were like, this is such a 4 show.
Yeah. And I was like, you like emotions. This is perfect.
This is a show for Enneagram 4s.
Yeah.
So she sold me on it. I was like, okay. And then when we got there, the tagline under the sign said, some shows you see, this show you feel.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, this is my show.
Oh my gosh.
And it was my favorite.
That was another one. It didn't have all of the original cast, but it did have a few people like Lauren Patton. I love her.
Oh, she's so great.
I love her so much.
She's so great.
One of the mom that we saw was like, they like go in between 2 of the moms, so it wasn't the original, but she was really good as well. She's still touring. If you have the chance to see the show, they're about to go on tour. Go check it out.
Yeah, she's going to be on the national tour. I saw that announcement.
Oh my gosh.
Because sad news, as soon as we left New York City, it was 2 weeks later, they closed it all down again.
Yeah.
So we barely made it because they had closed it right before us and then closed it right after us. So we were like that small chunk of people that got to see it that year.
And I think Jagged Little Pill closed on Broadway. Like, I don't think it's opened since.
That's so sad.
So now they're just doing a national tour. Because it's definitely not one that's popular. It's not really that big. Unfortunately, it should be. It's amazing. But I think it only like hits a certain audience maybe. And I feel like it's more millennial vibes.
Definitely.
So the older generation is not interested. And then like maybe some of the younger generation.
Super progressive, super modern, super progressive.
It's a really good show. Definitely.
Super good.
It has a lot of intense issues that we shy away from talking about. Mm-hmm. So it's good to hear that in music. Mm-hmm. And so even if you just want to go listen to the cast recording, please do. Mm-hmm. It was really good.
It's amazing. So after that,
well, we tried to just sit and take it all in. They do not let you do that.
Oh, yeah.
They kicked us
out. Get out of the theater. We're closing. We're turning lights off. We're like going to the bathroom. They're like, get out.
I was just trying to pee and she's like, come on guys, go. And I was like, okay, I guess I can't buy a t-shirt.
That's a big part of New York City too, is the fast-paced life.
Oh yeah.
Like a lot of people don't even have a conversation with you. They don't
care.
We went to the cruise, they're just like, just trying to circle people. They don't use words. They just like they just do hand movements. And then later that night we went to go get pizza right after.
Yes! Well, we went to a Broadway store.
Oh yeah,
that was great. But yes, we went to get that New York pizza.
Mm-hmm, we had to, and our waiter came over and he's just like, here. He just like threw the menus down on the ground. Oh, scan it.
It was a QR code. He said, scan it. And then he walked away. We were like,
hello to you too.
They don't care about customer service. Like,
no, because they have people like cycling through all the time.
Yeah.
So they don't put an emphasis on customer service.
No, it's so funny. Like if someone did that here, like you would not hear the end of it.
Oh yeah. Terrible Yelp reviews.
It's hilarious though. So
people don't go there for the waiters. They go there for the pizza. And this was like one of the best pizza places apparently.
Yeah.
In New York City. What was it called? Hell's Kitchen? No. Why does it say Hell's Kitchen? My phone just says New York Hell's Kitchen when I'm looking at the photos. I can't remember what it was called, but it was across the street. It was like right near where the show was.
Yeah.
It's pretty close. Oh, the cast also came out. after the show.
We went to the stage door, and I was just staring at everyone all awkwardly.
I know.
Because we
couldn't. Like, do you want to talk to somebody? You're like, no, we're just staring at them.
We couldn't really go up to people because they were all talking to someone, and I was like, maybe if I stick around, someone won't have someone to talk to. But then I was like, it's not happening.
No.
Maybe we should walk away. But then I was like, I can't stop staring at them.
It's so surreal to see them in person.
Yeah.
It's like, I just watched it on stage.
Yeah, and like seeing how different they look up close, like it was cool. So that was awesome.
Yeah. So we got pizza.
Yeah.
And then that night we went to a bar.
Yeah, we took this beautiful picture. It was the same bar we went to the first night.
I have that. Comparing our pictures.
It was the same bar. We
yeah.
actually sat at the bar this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't stay there very long though.
No, we learned, guys.
We learned our lesson.
Yeah. So we went there. We felt safe at that bar for some reason. Like it was just nice because a lot of people went there, but like not too many people. You know, it was like a good amount. So we hung out there for a while, and I think that was it for the night.
Next morning, I had to film a campaign for a brand, so I did that in the bathroom. I have this in my phone.
Oh, we went to the Natural History Museum.
Yes, we went to the Natural History Museum. That line was like 3 hours long.
So
2 hours long.
We get there, and I have a picture right here of the parade was the next day.
So they were blowing up all the parade balloons and starting to do that.
Yeah. Like right here is Grogu, Baby Yoda, if you know him as that. He's still wrapped up in his like wrapping. You can see he's blown up already, and everyone's just like staring at him like, like he's gonna do something.
It was super cool to see them getting ready for the parade like that behind the scenes.
Yeah. So then we got in this line, and we just couldn't find the end of it. We were walking, and it was probably a mile-long line.
Yeah.
Just to get into the museum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we got into the line around 12. Our reservation was at 12 o'clock, and we got there at 12. But we didn't get to the front end of the museum till 2 o'clock. It was a 2 hour long line. And once again, they didn't check reservation time, so we just got in whenever.
The Dum Dum video.
Oh my gosh!
Oh man,
this museum was super cool because this museum was based off of the movie. What's it called?
Night. I almost said Nightmare. Nope, Night at the Museum.
Yeah, some of it. Yeah.
So a lot of the scenes were filmed there, and so yeah, it has the same kind of vibe as the movie. Yeah.
And then we got to see Dum Dum, which is that statue that's in the movie.
And it's not even the same one. Like it's funny.
Is it not?
It's not the same one. I looked it up. It has no relevance to the movie.
Really?
It's just like a Hawaiian thing. And so there was a long line
to take pictures with Dum Dum.
Yes. Dum Dum, give me gum. I have this video right here, and it's just like this super long line, and you just hear everyone going, Dum Dum, give me gum. Like everyone.
It's funny because everybody was speaking different languages once again. Everybody's come from all around the world, and they're all just like, Dum Dum, Dum Dum, Dum Dum. Everyone knew him as Dum Dum. It's just... We were laughing so hard.
It was hilarious. I feel like people that might have been from other countries may not have known what he was, but they just saw the line and they were like, I guess we were taking a picture with this.
Yeah, they're like, who's that? And then like, oh, Dum Dum.
Yeah. They had a really cool dinosaur area. I was living for it. I love dinosaurs.
That was super cool.
That was probably the biggest thing they have, what they're most known for. But they have like a whole thing on like habitats, animals, ocean animals.
Yep. And then at the end we went to the planetarium that's connected to it.
Yeah.
And we got to watch that show. That was a really cool show.
Yeah. That was really cool.
And after that we went outside and they were blasting Hey Jude while they were preparing for the parade. Oh. And at this point they had that whole street lined up with like floats and balloons and stuff. So we were like, oh, this is super cool. We're seeing the behind the scenes.
We went to Starbucks. Because we were going to go to this place.
We did.
What is this? A hotel of some sort?
We're going to go to the Plaza.
The Plaza, yeah.
So the Plaza's different now. When I went a long time ago, like 12 years ago, they would just let anybody in. But now they don't let you in unless you're going to drink or eat something. So we were talking to the security guards and like, just say you're going to drink something. You don't have to. But that's the only way you're going to be able to get in. Just say it. So we were like, okay, we're going to go drink something. And they're like, okay, come on in.
And so we just like sat in this random hallway on a bench.
Because you can't really go anywhere or do anything.
Yeah.
It's kind of closed off. But I wanted to show Kiley the Plaza, the famous hotel from Home Alone. And then we walked around that area just because there's lots of different things to see. Mm-hmm. And then we were hungry, so we decided we're going to go to the Stardust Diner.
Oh yes, the Stardust Diner.
Stardust Diner is really famous.
Yeah.
A lot of people like that have been on Broadway serve there, and then they sing.
A lot of it is people who want to get to Broadway, and it's like their way of getting discovered kind of thing, and then making money to get there. I actually see it on TikTok all the time, and I'm like,
oh, really?
Yeah, people always talk about it. And so, yeah, we went there. The wait for that was pretty long, too.
About 2 hours.
Yeah, and that's when you were trying to go pee, and, like, you couldn't find a spot.
Yeah, we were talking about that last episode. When you have to pee in New York City, good luck. Unless you're going to actually buy something. I had to pee so bad, my bladder felt like it was going to explode, and I was this close to going to Applebee's and being like, I'll buy a drink if I can just use the bathroom, because I had to go that bad.
Yeah.
I could have just bought a soda or something.
Where'd you end up going?
I ended up going to the front of the Stardust, and I was like, we're in line.
Oh, yes.
But we're about to eat here, so can I come in? And they were like, yeah, absolutely. And they let me go to the bathroom.
That's good.
Yeah. So that was cool. That was a cool experience. We had our table was right by the area where they were dancing around. So they were dancing behind me, and
they had like a big different stage areas. They could go upstairs. There was this thing they could walk on that went all the way around. And then they come up to you and they just like give you ketchup while they're like belting a note, and you're just like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like I remember ordering while they were singing, just being like, you want me to order?
Yeah, they really have to multitask there.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, the food was like okay, but that's not why you go.
Yeah,
you just go for the experience.
I tried to take a picture of the Empire State Building, so I just made a video. That's how close we were.
Oh yeah, we were pretty close. Oh my gosh, and that night I was having like problems.
Yeah.
What was the deal with that? I think I was dehydrated. I don't think we drank enough water while we were there.
Was it your ankle or was it?
It was my back.
That's what
I felt like I pulled something on my back, but I really think it's probably just like my kidney or something because we hadn't really drank a lot of water.
Yeah.
And we were walking so much.
Yeah.
And we weren't drinking enough. I don't know. I was in pain, and the next morning we had to wake up early to go to the Macy's Thanksgiving thing. So I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be feeling up to it.
Because we were going to wake up at like 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. or something.
Yeah, and we ended up waking up at about 6.
Well, this video was at 5:12.
Okay, so we probably still woke up at like 4:45.
Time change.
So we hadn't had breakfast. We had no coffee, nothing. We like woke up and went. We had about 3 layers on. We came prepared for this day.
Yes, and it wasn't even that cold.
No, it was like the warmest day.
Yeah.
But we were like, if we're going to be standing out for long periods of time, we better come prepared. So we had gloves, hats, 3 layers of clothes, warm boots. We were super prepared for this. We got a pretty good spot.
Well, it was impossible trying to figure out where to go because
they block off streets and then they don't tell you where to go.
They change the route every year. So like a lot of people were with us and they're like, I thought this was what Google was telling me to go. And we were like, yeah, same. So we were all lined up in this really nice area. And then they made us move. And we were like, come on.
Yeah, we had watched YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Figuring out people's experiences of like what street corners to go to that would be the best. And they changed all of that.
Yeah.
So us telling you what street we were on doesn't even matter because they're going to change it up anyway. So my advice is to wake up as early as possible and just follow the crowd.
Yep.
Because that's what we did. We just kept following where the people were going.
Yeah, we got there early enough where we were in the front. Until you stand up, because, once the parade actually starts, that's when everyone pushes you.
We were probably like not in the front, but we were like 3 rows back probably if you were to actually do it. But yeah, everyone starts pushing.
Because it
tested my anxiety, you guys. It tested my anxiety. I am not a crowd person. I don't like a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And you were literally shoulder to shoulder with people and you cannot leave the line. Kylie tried. She tried to go get coffee or something or go to the bathroom.
That was before the parade even started.
Yeah.
People were still
the second she walked away, everybody started moving forward and I had to like hold my hand out like this. I was
like, nope, screw this. Went back in. But
yeah. So we watched the parade.
And like
pretty cool to be that close up.
We were at the end-ish of the parade. So like it started and people were like, oh, look, it's on Facebook. It started. And then like by the time they actually got to us, it was like 40 minutes later.
Yeah.
So I was just like, everyone needs to relax because everyone was like freaking out. They have their phones out. And I'm like, do you hear anything? Nothing's coming right now. Like
eventually you hear a marching band and you're like, oh, it's finally happening. Because at that point it was already, like 9 or 10.
The turkey right here.
So we were in that one spot for over 2 hours, not able to move at all. before the parade even got to us.
Yeah.
So yeah, the parade came around our end about 9:45.
Mm-hmm. And there would be random, what you don't see on TV is that there's random pauses.
Yeah.
And you're just freaking out the whole time because the floats look like they're going to run into buildings the whole time.
Smokey the Bear.
Yeah, we had Smokey the Bear was like, and everyone was like, whoa! Everyone's like, oh,
Every time Smokey the Bear would like act like he's about to hit something, the whole crowd would be like, whoa, like collectively.
And then he like went back up and everyone was like, yeah! It was so funny.
It's crazy because I saw a video after we had left of like the backstory of the parade, and every year somebody gets injured from like the floats hitting like a pole and a pole falling over or something. The things you don't think about. But yeah, obviously we weren't in the area that's on TV. There's only one specific area for that. When people think of the parade, like they think of that where you get to like see the acts and stuff. You have to have a special pass. You have to literally be invited there, or you have to know somebody who's performing to get those passes.
So we didn't see a lot of the celebrities that were on TV, like the ones that sang or whatever. We saw like a few that were on floats and that kind of thing.
Sarah Bareilles was the best one because her float stopped right in front of us.
Girls 5 Eva cast was there. That was really cool.
And they would talk to you because their floats would be stuck there for like 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. They'd just be like, hey, everybody.
Sarah Bareilles was just having conversations with people. It was like, you could tell she's awesome. Some celebrities were just like on their phone the whole time. I'm like, you're not even going to like engage with the crowd.
They felt awkward, I guess.
And they're like,
taking
at the parade. It's like, dude, come on. You're like, we're watching you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We saw Steve from Blue's Clues.
Oh yeah.
So if you guys remember, Steve was the one who. Only our generation will remember this, but Steve was the one who was on Blue's Clues. Yeah, that's true. It happened during my childhood. It was the most devastating thing. Steve left us. We had to deal with his brother. He went to college. Okay. Anyway, he came back. He made this video that was like the sweetest thing back in like September of last year. And so this was fresh. Like this was November. And so when everyone saw Steve, you could hear a few people going, Steve! Like that was what everyone was excited for.
Everyone was so excited to see Steve.
That was like my favorite part. I was like, what's Steve? Changed my life.
So after that, we had a plane to catch.
Correct. And so
we were so tired. So we had to walk back to our hotel, but trying to get back to the hotel once again was a nightmare because they had all the streets closed off that we would take to get to our hotel. So we had to go around, and it was just chaos. I've never seen that many people ever.
It was so packed. It was insane.
It was just people everywhere, and just
you couldn't move, really.
Yeah.
You couldn't even pass people. So
it was a cool experience to be able to say that I was there, but I would never do it again.
I don't think you have to. If you've done it once, it's like, what would be the point of doing it again? It was really cool, though. And we went to Applebee's, and then we waited in our hotel for our Uber. Went on another crazy Uber drive. Mm-hmm. That one was even wilder.
Yeah, we basically told him that we had to get there quickly, so he went fast for us.
Oh yeah, he was
like, "I'll get you there, don't worry."
He thought it was hilarious because Shaylee was like, he was cracking.
He was laughing at me being stressed out.
But we made it to the airport,
and then we got back home.
We had a layover in Denver. Remember, we had that flight that was like 40 minutes. From Denver to the Springs.
Oh, yeah.
So we ate like chicken wings on Thanksgiving, which was actually pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, because it was Thanksgiving. And so
yeah, no one was at the airport.
Yeah. It's a perfect day to travel. They say that's the least crowded day to travel is Thanksgiving.
And then we had that flight attendant that was like, wear your mask. Thanks. Love you. She was great.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got home and
yeah.
It was awesome.
It's pretty cool. So
it was a long episode.
Yeah, the super long episode. You guys are probably like, whatever. But it's kind of cool to share experiences. Just to let you know that it doesn't sound like we went the cheap route, but we really did.
Yes.
Okay. So here it is. So we, like I said, we spent $899 on flights, $696 on the hotel. And mind you, this is for both of us. So we split this in half. And then $639 for the shows.
Yeah. And if you went with a bigger group, obviously you wouldn't have to pay as much for like a hotel, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So there are ways to save money.
Yeah.
We didn't really eat anything fancy except that one night.
Right. We didn't spend a whole lot on food, probably $300 each or something, which is pretty good because everything there is expensive.
Right.
And then the Uber rides were probably an additional $200.
I probably spent like $400 on water. Not really that much, but every Broadway show we had to go to, I was like, I need a water.
Oh, see, that's probably why I ended up dehydrated and you didn't, because you always got water at all the shows. And I
love
didn't.
water. I need it at all times. And I was also sick, and I was like, I cannot cough throughout these shows. Like, I felt so bad coughing. I was like, I had so many cough drops in my pocket.
She came prepared.
And then there'd be moments where I was like, I'm going to have a cough attack. I was like, I can't do this. I'm at Chicago. I can't. It was rough being sick, but it was fine.
Trip of a lifetime. Super fun.
It was.
We'll never forget it.
Yes, definitely. So, word of advice, go to New York if you can.
Yeah.
If you've been there, let us know your experience in the comments.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure everyone's been there at this point.
Yeah, probably.
Most people.
It's pretty touristy.
But something you definitely got to experience.
Yes.
It was really neat. And I'm glad we got to go together and experience it together.
Me too. It was great.
I know I'm itching to go on another trip like that, but I can't afford it. My bank account says no.
Yeah. Like I said, I haven't financially recovered because it was the New York trip. And then I had like 6 weddings to prepare for.
Plus your own.
And my own. I'm still financially recovering. And I just had my Disneyland honeymoon. So be ready to spend money. Mm-hmm. But that's any trip. So,
right.
Yeah. All
right. Thanks for listening until the end.
Yeah.
Our next episode's going to be fun. We are going to go through some dating profiles. We're also going to be drinking. So let us know if you have any ideas of us to do for like games, like drinking games.
Yes.
Anything specifically that you want us to do. And we'll spill the tea. I'll show you some of the profiles I've come across because I've been taking screenshots.
Yes.
Some of them are just like crazy out of this world. We're going to block people's faces for privacy reasons. But we're excited to roast these guys. And we hope you are too. It's going to be so fun.
Yeah.
So thank you
for watching.
That's coming soon.
All right.
All right, guys.
We haven't figured
out an outro yet. We'll get it together for the next one.
Yes.
Because I'm not alone in this land. Being single is not lonely. I like it.
I'm alone in this land. All right. Well, goodbye.
Bye.